Dust on this tired old street. Mark corners where we used to play. Dust trace our tired old feet in circles as we pace our time away. There's long been rumors as to how exactly does May see nothing but shapes, and how it escalated into an incident that featured May gaining notoriety among the townsfolk after being involved in a violent episode at her school's softball match. According to the Night in the Woods video game itself, May experienced a sudden form of dissociation from the real world, which seemed like an acute episode of derealization. She saw objects and people as just meaningless shapes, and not really existing. She felt a deep sadness for everything around her, lamenting that nothing was there for her anymore, and that everything was just stuff in the universe. The next day, at the softball match, a second episode occurred. Something broke inside her, and before she knew it, she was beating Andy Cullen's head in with a bat in front of the entire school. Following that, most parents told their children to stay away from May. By the events of Night in the Woods, most of the kids in town know May through the attack, nicknaming her Killer. The incident put a strain on May's relationship with her family. Financially, the Borowskis went deep into debt, trying to treat her. May was sent to Dr. Hank for treatment, where he prescribed keeping a journal as a means of keeping her emotions in check. May claims it helps her feel grounded with reality and that it works somewhat. She seemed to be doing all right until she left for college. There, the effects of dissociation seemed to intensify, and May never made a single friend at college because she was afraid of leaving her room. She was left starving or else downing entire pizzas in one go. She drank cough syrup just to sleep and forget about her living nightmare. May was especially terrified of the rusty statue of the founder outside her window, always a mess of shapes, watching and pointing down at her. She felt too scared to phone anyone for help. After 3 semesters, May finally mustered up the courage to leave and return to the safety of her home, where things weren't just dead shapes. Acute episodes are usually preceded by a sudden feeling like you're being watched, or that something is just off somehow. Let's say in a dream, something just feels wrong somewhere. If someone says something really unexpected, it can cause someone to start to feel this way too. But maybe there's something more to May's condition that we never really explained. After much analysis, I began to question if May suffers from derealization, or a common mental illness titled schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder characterized by abnormal behavior and failure to understand reality. Common symptoms include false beliefs, unclear or confused thinking, hearing voices that others do not, reduced social engagement, emotional expressions, and a lack of motivation. People with schizophrenia often have additional mental health problems, such as anxiety, depression, or substance use disorders. Symptoms typically come on gradually, begin in young adulthood, and last a long time. The causes of schizophrenia include environmental and genetic factors. Possible environmental factors include being raised in a city, cannabis use during adolescence, certain infections, parental age, and poor nutrition during pregnancy. Genetic factors include a variety of common and rare genetic variants. Diagnosis is based on observed behavior, the person's reported experiences and reports of others familiar with the person. During diagnosis, a person's culture must also be taken into account. As of 2013, there is no objective test. Schizophrenia does not imply a split personality or dissociative identity disorder, conditions with which it is often confused in public perception. The mainstay of treatment is antipsychotic medication, along with counseling, job training, and social rehabilitation. It is unclear whether typical or atypical antipsychotics are better. In those who do not improve with other antipsychotics, clozapine may be tried. In more serious situations where there is risk to self or others, involuntary hospitalization may be necessary, although hospital stays are now shorter and less frequent than they once were. About 0.3 to 0.7% of people are affected by schizophrenia during their lifetimes. In 2013, there were an estimated 23.6 million cases worldwide. Males are more often affected, and on average experience more severe symptoms. About 20% of people eventually do well, and a few recover completely, while about 50% have lifelong impairment. Social problems, such as long-term unemployment, poverty, and homelessness, are common. The average life expectancy of people with the disorder is 10 to 25 years less than for the general population. This is the result of increased physical health problems and a higher suicide rate, about 5%. In 2015, an estimated 17,000 people worldwide died from manic behaviors related to or caused by schizophrenia. Individuals with schizophrenia may experience hallucinations. Most reported are hearing voices, delusions, often bizarre or persecutory in nature, and disorganized thinking and speech. The last may range from loss of train of thought to sentences only loosely connected in meaning, to speech that is not understandable, known as the word salad. Social withdrawal, sloppiness of dress and hygiene, and loss of motivation and judgment are all common in schizophrenia. And that's exactly what Mae Borowski has, and we might not even know it yet. So all that derealization is only part of schizophrenia. She is hallucinating and has gone into a stage of pure emotional distress, causing the incident to happen. So she'll die anywhere else but her own personal hell. And that was It's Just Shapes, written by Psychopasta. Review time. This is how you do a theory pasta story. This is how you do a theory pasta about mental illness. Don't make it sound like you pulled a bunch of things out your butt and chucked them at a dartboard to see what fits more. This is how you do it. Provide enough information, enough research to back up your claim, and have it make sense to the original source material. And this fits so well with the Night in the Woods universe, it actually impresses me. See, a lot of theory pastas I read don't seem to intrigue me. Like the whole, Caillou is bald, therefore he has cancer theory. Charlie Brown has cancer because he's bald. The whole Rugrats theory, if I got into the Rugrats theory, I would be lasting a whole hour talking about how bad it is, how it doesn't make sense, and it feels like something that was written as some sort of dark fic on fan fiction. This is incredible. It provides plenty of information connecting to how this derealization that Mae is going through is actually some form of schizophrenia. And I actually did my own research based on what was given here. And the author's correct about a lot of it. I don't know if every single thing mentioned is correct, but from what I'm seeing so far, he is correct about a lot of it. The statistics that were given worldwide, the symptoms given for schizophrenia, it all links. and how he takes examples from the game and mashes those together. That is the chef's kiss to this story. The only reason I'm not giving it a 9 out of 10 is because not everything mentioned in the information and the research below is something that connects to May's character. For example, let me look for just a second. Social withdrawal. There we go. It's mentioned in the information that a part of schizophrenia would be social withdrawal. And according to Google, that means avoiding people and activities you would usually enjoy. Wait, it's maketheconnection.net. My bad. This was just the first thing that showed up on Google. Avoiding people and activities you would usually enjoy. That doesn't necessarily happen within Night in the Woods. She does hang out with people she cares about. She does talk to people she cares about, such as her mother, Beatrice, Greg, Angus. She hangs out with Greg by smashing light bulbs with him. She hangs out with Beatrice by visiting her place of work, going to the mall with her, helping her with certain odd jobs, etc., etc. So that is one good example of something that doesn't necessarily connect to her derealization. Another thing would have to be speech that is not understandable, known as the word salad. Last time I saw, May can speak correctly. I mean, you can choose what she says. That's a big part of Night in the Woods' gameplay. It's decision making. So I wouldn't say that she doesn't understand much speech that is given to her. Sloppiness of dress and hygiene, I can see that, because she wears the same thing every day. So it kind of makes sense how she wouldn't change out of that to something different. That's a good example. I can go on and on and on about this, but that's pretty much the main flaw that the story has. Overall, this was awesome. This is exactly what a theory pasta should be. Psychopasta, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. This is incredible. You should be proud. But as always, this is simply my personal opinion. We all have our opinions regarding these pastas. What did you think of the pasta? What would you have done to improve upon it? And as always, I will see you all in the next narration. I love you all. Bless.